partnership to improve police data collection, entry and dissemination.
What the Crime Observatory is able to do is provide us with good, timely, accurate data for us able to craft our policies, and from crafting our policies we're able to then craft acceptable strategies to help with the crime and violence and citizen security.
It's Thursday, and that time of day for your favorite program, Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkins, and thanks for joining us. On today's show, we look at the use of drones to give real-time data on damage to crops and help with praedial larceny, plus a simulation exercise to test residential and commercial areas' vulnerability to earthquakes and floods. Stay with us. The package continues right after this message.
Jamaica, I can help you protect our citizens.
Jamaica Eye will play a part in increasing your public safety.
Jamaica Eye is part of an island-wide network of camera surveillance systems designed to increase the safety of you, our citizens. If you have a camera system outside your home or office facing a public space, log on to jamaicaeye.gov.jm today. Jamaica Eye, we're all connected. The Ministry of National Security, creating a safer and prosperous Jamaica.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your GIS News for Thursday, October 25. A new drainage system will be installed to address flooding along Marcus Garvey Drive in Kingston. Local Government and Community Development Minister Desmond McKenzie says plans are now being finalized for the construction work. He gave the update during a tour of Marcus Garvey Drive on Wednesday. The visit was to assess the area in the wake of heavy rains that flooded the busy thoroughfare on Tuesday. Minister McKenzie says the drainage work will start in the vicinity of Waltham Park Road and include the Tins and Pen Aerodrome. The project will be jointly coordinated by the National Works Agency and the Port Authority of Jamaica. It's part of a comprehensive upgrading of drainage systems being planned for the corporate area. In the meantime, the local government minister is assuring that the corporate area drains will be cleaned on a consistent basis in order to prevent flooding during periods of heavy rainfall. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the National Housing Trust has delivered 892 housing solutions since the start of the 2018-2019 fiscal year in April. He says the trust is on track to deliver an additional 4,144 housing solutions by the end of the fiscal year in March 2019.
You have Shekels coming, that is in Clarendon, 48 units. You have Latium in St. James, 183 units. You have Twickenham 4, phase 4 in St. Catherine, that's 134 units. In Manchester, there is Perth 1A, that's 118 units to come. Then there is Fontabelle in Westmoreland, 355. We have Antrovy in St. James, 170. We have Rasta City in Kingston, 93. We have the Estuary 2 in St. James, 1,100. And we have Perth Phase 2 in Manchester, 1,314.
Other developments are planned for Clarendon, St. Andrew and St. James. Prime Minister Holness was speaking at Wednesday's groundbreaking for Phase 1 of the Friendship Oaks housing development at Goshen in St. Elizabeth. A National Housing Trust project, Phase 1 of 2 will include 229 serviced lots and 4.8 hectares of land allotted for commercial use. The Ministry of National Security has reached an agreement with used car dealer O'Brien's International Car Sales and Rentals Limited to recover money paid for the purchase of motor vehicles for the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Portfolio Minister Dr. Horace Chang told Parliament on Tuesday that the agreement was reached through mediation, which was conducted by Queen's Counsel Walter Scott.
The agreement will ensure that the government recovers its full cost of $213 million. There will be no further extension of the contract, and the object was to conclude the agreement and protect the government's interests.
Meanwhile, Dr. Chang says the ministry has already acquired 65 new motor cars and nearly 100 bikes, which have been added to the police fleet.
And there's another 50 video vehicles to be acquired, and in the new financial year we are proceeding to take steps to refleet the police.
$1.1 billion has been set aside in the 2018-2019 budget for the procurement of motor cars and motorcycles for the JCF. The Ministry of Health will be developing a sexual and reproductive health policy that will guide strategies to reduce maternal mortality rates. This was disclosed by Portfolio Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton during Tuesday's sitting of the House of Representatives. In 2016, Jamaica's maternal mortality ratio was 110.6 per 100,000 live births. Dr. Tufton says government is committed to reducing that to less than 70 per 100,000 live births by the year 2030.
A sexual and reproductive health policy will create a framework for identifying effective strategies to reduce maternal mortality rates, including strengthening the linkages between obstetric and NCD programs and reviewing our capacity within the health sector to respond effectively to cases of unsafe abortions.
The health minister was making his contribution on a motion which calls on the government to repeal Section 72 and 73 of the Offences Against the Person Act, which makes abortion illegal. The motion was brought by Member of Parliament for West Rural St. Andrew, Juliet Cuthbert-Flynn. While a 1975 ministerial policy paper lays out conditions under which medical practitioners could terminate a pregnancy, the Offences Against the Person Act was never amended to provide clarity on the lawful grounds for abortion. Dr. Tufton is recommending that Parliament looks at a 2008 report done by a Ministry of Health Abortion Policy Review Advisory Group, which was established in 2005.
Given the interest, given the concern, and certainly from a public health perspective, I believe that the time is now right for us to find a way through a joint committee to review that report, review the recommendations of that committee, and if there is a need to add further work, then we add further work in terms of consultation.
And finally, Agriculture Minister Audley Shaw is urging farmers to utilize new irrigation technology to improve crop quality and increase production. Only 12 to 13% of about 200,000 acres of irrigable lands have been irrigated. Pointing to companies like Isratec, Minister Shaw says there is technology available to erect cost-effective irrigation systems for small and large farmers, especially those located on the slopes.
The land is sloping. So you get your plastic tanks and you put them up on the hillside. And you get some Isratec lines with the drip irrigation. And you run them into the gully where your planting taking place. Guess what? No energy needed because you have gravity feeding from the hillside down into the field.
The Agriculture Minister was addressing the recent opening ceremony for Isratec Jamaica Limited's new retail outlet and complex in St. James. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
The Jamaica Crime and Violence Databank is being improved with support from the Jamaica Social Investment Fund. This partnership will ensure accuracy in data collection, entry, and dissemination.
The Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF, is helping to build safer communities through the Jamaica Crime Observatory Enhancement Project. Established in 2011, the Jamaica Crime Observatory is a web-based crime and violence databank hosted by the Ministry of National Security.
The project is seeking to enhance the capacity of the Ministry of National Security, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, and a number of other stakeholders in their response to data collection, data entry, data dissemination, and data analysis. This is a World Bank funded initiative. It is valued at 44 million Jamaican dollars.
The upgrade to the system falls under JSIF's Integrated Community Development Project (ICDP). The aim of the ICDP is to improve basic infrastructure and social services delivered to 18 targeted at-risk communities. JSIF seeks to use data from the Crime Observatory to inform the planning of social and technical interventions to be implemented in these communities. To ensure a concerted approach towards crime prevention and management, a number of government entities supply statistics to the Crime Observatory. These include the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the Ministry of Health, the Registrar General's Department, and the Institute of Forensic Science and Legal Medicine.
We collect data from murder statistics to sexual offenses, suicide, traffic fatalities, hospital data, fatal shootings for various parishes in Jamaica.
The Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, is the primary source of data for the observatory. Under the project, the Statistics and Information Management Unit of the JCF has received handheld GPS devices to assist in increasing the accuracy of data collected.
From the perspective of the crime scene, the forensic crime scene analysts utilize the handheld devices provided by the Jamaica Social Investment Fund to map the exact location of each crime. The devices are also able to take photographs of the environment within which the crime occurs. With that information, the analysts are able to get a better context within which the crime occurs. And that has been very significant in our analysis process.
In addition, the gadget also assists us to be able to do analysis, temporal analysis of the time crime takes place. If you plot those information on a graph, you can see over a period of time, you can be able to determine trend, so you can do trend analysis.
As part of the JSIF funding, the unit also received laptops, desktop computers, firewall devices, servers, UPS devices, and software packages to improve the efficiency of processing the data collected.
It allows us to provide data to the Crime Observatory in a much faster turnaround time than the monthly cycle that we usually provide the data to the Crime Observatory.
Additionally, 2 data entry clerks have been employed by the unit to assist with the timely input of information into the system. The Ministry of National Security will also receive funding to engage the services of a crime analyst.
What the engagement of the crime analyst will do is that they will help with better forecasting and predicting utilizing data which is in the Crime Observatory.
The project, which started in 2017, will also fund the training of 7 Ministry of National Security staff and 8 persons from the Jamaica Constabulary Force in the areas of system maintenance, spatial analysis, and the use of ArcGIS software technology. Improvements to the Jamaica Crime Observatory are essential to various stakeholders in the formulation of policies and strategies to keep Jamaicans safe.
What the Crime Observatory is able to do is provide us with good, timely, accurate data for us able to craft our policies, and from crafting our policies, we're able to then craft acceptable strategies to help with the crime and violence and citizen security.
With geographic information system, we can actually pinpoint the exact location of a crime. We can pinpoint the area, such as a shop or a bar, that is likely to be affected by a particular type of crime, which means that we can practice preventative policing. We can actually preempt what is likely to take place, put in strategy in order to prevent those occurrences.
Through the Jamaica Crime Observatory Enhancement Project, the Jamaica Social Investment Fund is enhancing the efficient collection and analysis of crime and violence statistics, building on the capacity of the government to better plan crime-fighting strategies.
We are men with a message, and the youth them need to hear this.
We know everything about thug life.
Been there, done that.
Prison and a nice place, stay in school.
Serious thing we I tell you.
And a joke thing this. They can't tell me about hungry. That's no excuse. Leave the badness alone. Nobody narrate you.
Them just afraid of you. Live positive, remember.
A gang is a dead end.
A message from the Ministry of National Security.
Up next, how the Ministry of Agriculture is using drones to collect and provide timely and accurate data from natural disasters.
The Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries is looking to employ the use of drone technology in the agriculture sector to provide useful data to drive production and productivity. Collaborating with local company DNC Drones, Minister without Portfolio J.C. Hutchinson held a demonstration with farmers in Low River, Trelawney in August. It showed the farmers that the drones will be able to assess damage to their sector from natural disasters such as a flood and help them identify measures to boost crop yield.
What we are looking for the drone to do is that once we have crop damage after a hurricane or flood, we usually find that when the estimates come in, we find that the estimates are not usually correct, because many of the extension officers can't reach the areas where the damage is. With the drone, we are able to go over and identify all the crops, all the animals that have been lost, and bring back the picture within a day.
Director of DNC Drones, Nigel Davies, said this type of drone technology is called precision agriculture,
which basically is collecting data in real time, analyzing that data, and then interpreting data to advise the farmer as to the status of his crop, which is basically his nutrient contents in his crop, the moisture content in his field, and how much he has. Because this technology can also count the number of hills of yam, potato plants, tomato plants in the field. We can assess, let's say, the number of animals that died. We can measure that. We can tell you that, wait a minute, that these guys had 20 acres of yam here, and we knew that 6 months ago it was 50 hills of yams. We now can say he lost 50 hills of yams. So the drone technology is used widely in disaster management.
Other benefits of the drones include giving a clear picture of crops under production and identifying areas with irrigation needs and crops that are lacking in nutrients.
We have what we call a multispectral camera, which is this little camera on this particular drone, and it takes pictures of the plants. As you well know, plant leaves basically absorb sunlight and reflect sunlight. So this is a special camera that rejects infrared or near infrared, and then it can use that data using an algorithm to tell us how much nitrogen, how much potassium, how much phosphorus, or the lack thereof in a plant. We also can tell you the moisture content in the field.
Now, if that can be done, we will be able to tell the farmer what needs to be done with his different crops. And with that, we are looking at seeing how we can not only increase production, but we can increase productivity. So with the technology, we are looking to see if we can bolster agriculture.
The drone demonstration in Trelawney is the first of an island-wide campaign by the Agriculture Ministry to sensitize farmers about the benefits of the technology.
We feel that it can be able to counteract praedial larceny in a certain way, and we are going to see how we can get it going so that we are able to counteract praedial larceny for the farmers.
We can identify cows or any animals, as the case may be, that may be hidden anywhere. Let's say, for example, Master Storm. You know Master Storm only have 5 goats in his field, but all of a sudden, in the backyard, he might have another 10. We can survey that area and identify the number of cows or goats, as the case may be, using our thermal imaging camera. We can't solve the problem, but we can aid in recovery of animals or monitor a man's farm. Minister, we're going to work with you and try to streamline the technology to ensure that we can attain that goal.
I think the drone is going to make a big difference as far as us moving forward in agriculture. I want to see a revolutionization of agriculture in this country.
Nobody want to plant the corn. Everybody want to read the band. Who you are go blame it on when it's a next man? You are deep in pan. Well, you're wrong.
Farmers, let us be serious about praedial larceny. It is affecting all of us. If you are aware of incidents of praedial larceny, make contact with your local police station or call Crime Stop at 311. Praedial larceny is everybody's business.
No mind if me stall. Them no business if me back against the wall. This a living sometime making me ball. Seems like there ain't no love after.
It's time now for a little exercise, a simulation to test the strength of our infrastructure and vulnerability of our environment in the event of a natural disaster.
Floods and earthquakes are 2 of the most common natural disasters. But unlike earthquakes, which usually take us by surprise, flooding to some extent can be predicted.
But when it is, what should we do with the information? And how do we safeguard ourselves and properties against this eventuality?
Through the use of revolutionary technology, awareness of the possible outcomes of a natural disaster has become more advanced. Persons are now able to use data on location, roof, and house type to create a simulation of what may happen in an earthquake, tropical storm, or hurricane.
The simulation was designed to combine place, type of structure, and event. Because Jamaica is vulnerable to 4 types of events: hurricane/tropical storms, landslides, floods, and earthquakes. But the same building that you live in is exposed to all 4. And that same building you live in will react differently to all 4.
Jamaica's landscape equally sits in low-lying and coastal areas as on hills and valleys. The country is also in an earthquake zone, so it can't hurt to do a little research on all the what-ifs, right?
You'll be able to go inside your house and see your roof being blown off, or your slab roof staying on. You'll be inside your slab roof house when earthquake shakes, it comes down on you. We'll be able to have those types of simulations.
How about the possible outcome of a Category 5 hurricane if you're living in a zinc roof wooden house that is built on stilts in a river valley? So now that these predictions are available to us, just how useful are they?
This simulator is now designed to take all of that information, the conventional knowledge that we as academics know, or the disaster management professional knows, dump it online as we have. Let the developer, housing developer, have access to it and see for himself. Let the parish council person or the development approval authority play with it.
And once they've viewed it, the authorities can use the data to plan areas for development, approve or deny development applications, and build better. The simulator is not just a special effect disaster interactive tool, but one that takes into account the realities of environmental and living conditions here in Jamaica.
And the simulator also seeks to bring an awareness of the impact natural disasters may have on lives, properties, and businesses in relation to the country's national goals.
The effect a hazard would have on everything ranging from the individual to the nation is important, and scaremongering only goes so far.
The simulator allows you to either scare yourself or reassure yourself, but it's based on reality.
Another useful element to this drill is the data it uses. Historical data are planted and come to life through the simulator to facilitate emergency responses as well as forward planning in action.
Knowing where hazards are and knowing where they're not is extremely valuable information to businesses such as insurance. Instead of blanketing Portland as a hazard-prone parish, we can know which parts of Portland are hazard-prone, therefore allowing people in Portland who are not in hazard-prone areas to get lower insurance premiums. You underwrite them differently. And you also underwrite more accurately and properly the people who are in hazard-prone zones.
So, if you have already bought your dream home or are thinking of buying or building, you may want to try a few simulation exercises to test the stability of your home or to find out if where you intend to build is the best place to put down roots.
As we close today's show, we ask that you stay connected via our website, jis.gov.jm. And while you're online, send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm or via tweet at JIS News. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.